All right, here we are, Virtual Open Week 2025. Day two is the info session, how to create a successful bake from home business. Now, if you've not met me before, I'm Helen Marshall. I go by the name of, well, the nickname of H, and so you can call me H too. Even my dad calls me H. And I'm the founder of Primal Alternative. And since 2016, I've helped over 345 home bakers in Australia, the US, UK, and New Zealand turn their love of baking into a business that fits around their life right from their own kitchen. Just letting some people in. Welcome, welcome. All right. So each Primalista has her own reasons for starting this journey, and I want to know what are yours. So pop it in the chat. Maybe you A, feel over your 9 to 5 and you just want a bit of a change. Or maybe B, you want to make a bit of extra money now that you've got a family to juggle. Or maybe you're at that other end and you're into retirement and you just want to have a little bit of extra income coming in. Or maybe it's C, you like the idea of a side hustle that's actually enjoyable. Or D, you have always dreamed of being your own boss. Maybe it's E, you haven't quite hit the career goals you thought you would. Or maybe you're like me, you hit those career goals and it wasn't everything you thought it was going to be. Or F, maybe it's a mix of all of the above, right? But whatever brought you here, you're in the right place. And today I'm going to show you how you can turn your love of baking into a business that gives you more freedom, flexibility, and joy, all from your own kitchen. So don't overthink it. Just pop the letter that feels most like you in the chat. There's no wrong answers here. And if you're an F, well, you're definitely my kind of people. That's for sure. So let me see what we've got. We have got, oh, hello, Cherry. Cherry Chan is all of the above. Shelley says a side hustle that might lead to being her own boss. I had to check that and reference it. Mel's saying a bit of extra money in her free time, building a side. Who's drawing on my screen? Bit, bit of a side hustle. And a bit of D, always been interested in being your own boss. Cool. Susanna, hello, Susanna, says started a family and wants to make some extra money. And Nicole says all of the above, you're my people. And Vicky says lost the passion for a 9 to 5, got ya, and want to build a side hustle doing something she enjoys. Love it. Now, this chat box is open. Keep the questions coming. Keep chatting to me. I love hearing from you. Otherwise, it's literally just me speaking to my computer screen so it gets a bit boring. So put your questions in the chat as we go through the session today. All right. So the method that I'm going to walk you through, it's been proven again and again. So you don't need to second guess yourself or wonder if you have what it takes. You don't need to stress about where to begin, whether you're any good at sales and marketing, or whether you can come up with a product people will actually buy, because I already know you do have what it takes. What you need is just a clear path, plus a bit of support to guide you along the way. And that's what the Primalista license gives you. And it works. So whether you're baking out of a little home kitchen in regional Australia, or if you're in a city kitchen in the States, with the right framework, you'll be amazed how quickly you can grow your confidence and start building a business that feels meaningful and fits into your life. So I've put this info session together today to make your path to success as clear and doable as possible. So here's what we're going to cover today. We're going to cover the exact steps to start and grow a baking business right from your own kitchen. And the one thing you must do if you want to turn a side hustle or a part-time gig, some people don't like side hustle for some reason, but if you if you want to turn it the part-time business into a proper full-time gig, I'll show you how to do that today. And I'm going to show you how to choose the right gear so you can bake delicious cafe quality food at home. That's coffee shop quality for our US friends. And the most common mistakes new business owners make and how you can avoid them, right? Because when you know what could go wrong, what the pitfalls are, you can do things to mitigate that risk, right? And so you're not going to be one of the many who give up in the first few years of starting a business. And this is the same process that's already worked for over 345 primalistas in Australia, New Zealand, the UK, and the USA. And if you're wondering about my accent, fair enough, it's a bit strong. I'm originally from the northeast of England, believe it or not. But I've lived in Australia for a long time, since I was 29 and I've just turned 50. And these days I live on the south coast of Western Australia in a city called Albany. Anybody heard of Albany? Let me know in the chat. It's right next to Albany is the oldest city in Western Australia, even though everyone thinks it's Perth. It's actually Albany, and it's 6 hours away from Perth. So everyone thinks the whole of Western Australia is Perth, but it's actually quite large, and it's not. And Albany is next to a very nice little town, little country hippie town called Denmark, which is really why we live here. And that's where my husband works, and that's where I started Primal Alternative. We still sell in the shops there today, 10 years later, and my kids go to school there, and it's a beautiful town. So most people have heard of Denmark if they've done a bit of the lap around Australia. So let me know if you've been here. All right, so in the next 45 minutes or so, you're going to get the clarity and confidence to see how this could become your very own successful bake from home business. All right, you excited? Let's dive in. That's a funny one, isn't it? All right. So, right, starting your own business, especially from home, can feel like a huge leap. And I'll be straight with you, it's not always smooth sailing. There will be moments when you'll need to roll up your sleeves, put on your big girl pants, push through challenges, push through limiting self-belief. But here's the good news. Success doesn't have to feel overwhelming. When you break the process into simple, practical steps, it suddenly becomes way more doable. And that's why I've taken everything I've learned from working with over 345 primalistas and starting my own food business from scratch and condensed it into 5 clear, easy to follow steps. So let's walk through them together. So the first step is to come up with a plan. So the first big question is, what do you actually want to bake and who do you want to bake it for? Now, from a home kitchen, you'll need to stick to what the health department call low risk food. So things that are safe to produce at home and don't spoil quickly and don't need temperature control and aren't liquid. So that includes the things that you can make from home, includes things like loaves, cookies, cakes without cream, pizza bases, granola slices, and even things like jams and pickles. What you can't do are high risk items like meat dishes, cream filled cakes, or anything liquid based. Those need to come out of a commercial kitchen because they require temperature control. So when you're choosing what to bake, think about 2 things. Number one, what will people want regularly so you can build a reliable, steady income? And what won't take over your life? Because you don't want to spend hours making something fiddly that doesn't pay off. For example, sourdough bread. It's wonderful. It's got really low cost of goods. It's cheap to produce, but and there's a demand for it, right? But all of the kneading, the proving, the rising, it's very time intensive. So if you're one woman in a kitchen, how many loaves of sourdough bread could you realistically make in a week? What about decorated cakes, right? I speak to so many cake makers. Their cakes are amazing. They're like pieces of art and they take ages to make. But people only need them occasionally, like on special occasions such as weddings, birthdays. And you know what? Most people don't really want to pay what it's worth for all of that cake artistry. People just don't want it. They want that, but they don't want to spend very much. And they don't want to do that very often. And that's why Primal Alternative focuses on products that are simple to bake. Literally, it's measure, mix, and bake. You chuck it in the oven. Everything looks very rustic, as you can see here. Lovely and rustic. Every loaf has its own look, its own personality, and that's cool. We go with that. That's what we go with. We're not looking for these factory identical loaves of bread like we see in the supermarket. And the products are loved by customers, they're healthy and nourishing, and they're in demand week after week. People eat food like this every day. I've just, in fact, had two slices of this delicious zucchini loaf with two fried eggs on top and a side of sauerkraut. It's pretty much my go-to breakfast every day. And that's what we want, right? Something that people are going to have as, yeah, a regular consumption. Now, there are a few reasons that I reckon healthy alternatives are the best choice. Firstly, the market is growing. And, I've been in this market for over a decade now. It's not just for crunchy people anymore. Many Aussies have lost big faith in big supermarket brands. In fact, according to a survey by market research experts Play MR, 59% of people believe that natural products meet their dietary requirements much better than regular supermarket food. Now, just give me a little yes in the chat if you agree with that stat. On top of that, 45% said the range of natural food options in the supermarket is insufficient. So there's definitely space to enter the market. Our primalistas report that demand for their healthy baked goods has not dropped off during these crazy years of uncertainty that we've had. And that's because food is a necessity and people are willing to pay for what they need and value, right? So despite what business experts have said about, the high cost of living crisis and all this kind of jazz, having a low cost side hustle has proven to be a new form of job security. And secondly, job satisfaction is there, right? Baking healthy food is amazing. I mean, like it just feels so fantastic to help people improve their health and wellness through food. And at the end of the day, you can lie your head down on your pillow knowing that what you do benefits your community much more than, say, something that's full of gluten and sugar, right? Plus, it's so much easier to sell something you actually believe in. So if you have got a love for clean eating and healthy living, then baking yummy, nutritious food is the way to go. And look, we are here for the people who are, needing to be grain free, wanting to be gluten free, wanting something low carb, keto, vegan. We've got options for all of those people. And that was our initial niche. But now, what primalistas are telling me is that a lot of their customers are just people who want honest home baked food that's not full of nasties. I mean, there's not many people left in the world that don't agree that that's a good move for good health. All right, on to step two, taking care of the paperwork. So you need to get set up properly. This is really important. And I can speak from experience because I did not get set up properly and it definitely came to bite me on the bum. So once you've decided what you want to bake, there are a few simple but important things you need to do so you can start trading confidently. And this really is a big deal. You might think, oh, getting my kitchen approved, I'm really worried about council. My council are the worst. They're going to say, no, my kitchen's too old, my oven's too small, whatever it is that you've got going on for you. I've heard them all, over 1,200 Primalista discovery calls over the last 9 years. But actually having your kitchen approved, being a food business owner, like a legitimate registered food business, and being insured really makes you kind of puff out your chest. You think, yeah, I'm legit. I can do this. And it really helps your confidence when you're speaking to customers, when you're walking through the door into stores, health food shops, independent grocers, wherever you're going. It really helps your confidence. So the first step you want to do is to register as a business. Now, in Australia, that would be applying for an ABN, an Australian business number. I'll show you exactly which link to click to do that without getting scammed. And it's your official business ID. So you can order from suppliers with you'll be able to get your goods at a wholesale price. You're not going to be going out getting almond meal from Coles or almond meal from big supermarkets or the health food store that charges a fortune. With your ABN, you'll be able to get wholesale accounts with bulk suppliers and be able to get good prices. And we'll show you exactly the best suppliers that we found so you don't need to do all of that legwork either. Now, in the USA, applying for an EIN, an employer identification number with the IRS, that's your federal tax ID and it makes you look official to suppliers, banks, and when you're filing your taxes. You may also need to register in the US with your state as an LLC or a sole proprietorship, but that's state dependent. The next step is to create your brand name and look. And this is what people will come to know and trust. So when you look at something that I put out, it's Primal Alternative, right? There's consistency in the fonts, there's consistency in the colors, there's the logo. Oh my goodness, this is the stuff that gets people stuck so much. Like they might have some good recipes, but they can't decide what to call their business. And I've been there too. Primal Alternative started off as Primal Soapbox. What? I think it started off as Primal Soapbox because I was ranting and raving about the benefits of eating like our ancestors did. But unfortunately, having a market called Primal Soapbox, people thought I was selling soap. Yes, it's funny. But so I had to think of a new name, and then it was Primal Life, which was just so beige. And I was thinking, oh, what can I call my business? What can I call it? And I was talking to my graphic designer, and I was like, I just want to have a name that when people are Googling, back in the days when we Googled, when people are Googling, what's the primal alternative to bread? What's the primal alternative to cookies? What's the primal alternative to pizza bases? And then I went, Primal Alternative. And that's how it, and I like that. I like that name because it actually does, it says what it is, you know? And I think that's very important as well. Hi, Janice. Janice is joining us. Lots to see. So nice to see so many names. I've already spoken to so many of you, and it's nice you're coming today. So I appreciate that. That's so cool. All right. So where was I before I went off on a rabbit hole there? Yeah. So getting that your label and your logo so they know what they're going to expect is very important. And then getting your food business license. So in Australia, your kitchen will need to be inspected by your local environmental health officer or EHO. And you'll need a food business registration before you start baking. Now, don't stress. Getting registered, it's actually a straightforward process. It's just a bit of paperwork, and I guide you through it. You'll need to have sealed surfaces and rodent-proof storage. Usually plastic containers are very good. In the US, requirements really vary state by state. So many allow home kitchens under cottage food laws. Yes, the US is a lot more accessible than good old Australia. So whilst in the US, some other states will require a commercial kitchen, which is what we are so used to doing in Australia. And we can walk you through exactly what applies where you live. The next step is to organize your insurance. Consider getting insurance. So, public and product liability insurance is what is recommended. And it protects you in the very unlikely event that somebody gets sick from one of your products. Nobody expects it, but it can be reassuring to be covered. In Australia, you just shop around. I give you a few options of where places to start looking. Usually going with whoever you get other insurance from is a good first place. In the US, if you look for cottage food or home food business insurance policies, many providers now have packages designed for small food producers because if you didn't know, small food producers are on the rise. People think it's like an old thing, cottage industry, but there's a huge renaissance of people going back to honest home cooked food, farm stalls, all of the like. So such an exciting thing to be part of. All right, now comes the fun part. It's time to get out your food processor, whip on your apron, and get baking. So We need to refine recipes, or in other words, create recipes that people actually want. And a great place to start is often looking through your own family cookbook, looking through your own favorite recipes, the ones where you take to people like it's your staple dish that you take to the office or to the bring a plate and people always say, "Oh, Janice, this is delicious. Your herbs are amazing. You should start a business doing this." That's a silly example because Janice already has a herb food business, but I speak to people all the time who tell me that. People are always telling them, you should have a business. So, what are those products that people love? And can you make them a little bit healthier, for example, like swapping out regular flour for almond flour? And then suddenly you've got like a delicious gut friendly, gluten free bread. Or maybe you could use maple syrup or honey, coconut sugar instead of refined sugars. Small changes like that can turn everyday favorites into a nourishing alternative, which we've already touched on. So once you're happy with your creations, get your friends and family to be your taste testers. And even better, if you've got fussy kids, because there's no tougher critic than a fussy eater, right? And if they like it, then chances are most people will too. And literally every recipe that I've created, it's gone through. Like I think, oh, I'm onto something. Oh, this is good. And then I test it on my family, and I'm waiting there with bated breath because they tell me exactly if it's a goer or not. So everything's been taste tested by my family before it's obviously been out into the market and being taste tested by hundreds of thousands of people in different countries now, which is a real buzz. So don't worry if you're short on ideas. Inspiration really is everywhere, right? It's in your own health journey or your cravings, the foods you miss, but you can't buy easily. I mean, this is why this all started for me. And the more personal your recipes are, the more fun you'll have making them. And the easier it is to share them with others, right? And that's exactly how I started back in 2014. I had a health crisis that made me ditch grains, sugars, seed oils, and focus on real food, meat and veg basically, rest and sunshine. My energy came back. I felt better than I had in years. But my health coaching clients told me they couldn't stick to a primal way of eating if it meant no bread, pizza, or cookies. Right? They were like, I've done so well all week, H. I'm feeling amazing. And then Friday night, they'd drink all the wine, order a pizza, and then they'd find, some ice cream in the freezer and eat that too. So they asked me, like, these foods that you're eating, that you've made for your family, can I try some of those? And, I'd spent many hours in our kitchen figuring out alternatives to bread and pizzas. And you all know the story. My husband said, we're not doing going paleo without cookies. So, I started selling these products. And that's when I knew I was on to something, because it meant people could still feel amazing, not like fall off the wagon, for want of a better phrase, but still have cereal, still have fruit toast, still have pastry, quiches, pies, sausage rolls, pizzas, amazing food. So they weren't feeling deprived and they were actually finding that these foods were more delicious than the crappy stuff in the supermarket that's full of crap, right? How good's that? It's great. All right, so once you have perfected your recipes, it's time to look for avenues to sell your products. Now, pay attention to this bit because this is the bit that most people kind of want to just skip. They're like, I love baking, I want to help people. But are they willing to go out and speak to people? It really is. Selling and marketing is really just speaking to people telling them what you have on offer. That's it. That's it. And I'm in the middle of writing the Primal License 2.0. It's bigger and better than ever. Actually, it's more condensed and better than ever. And the sales training or the marketing training that I add in the Prime Lister license training is amazing, if I do say so myself. But it really guides you through exactly where places you could approach, what to say when you ring them, what to say when you go in there. And we've got brochures that have got all of the answers to any questions you might get asked, like What's the wholesale to retail markup? What's the shelf life? How many carbs are in this? Everything. Okay. So you're not like on your own. If you follow the steps and make the calls and ask the questions and make the offers, you've got to ask for the sale. It's as really simple as would you like to give it a go? And then if you're willing to do that, yes, we all poo our pants when we do it, right? Because it's nerve-wracking. And what if someone rejects us and says no? That's all normal. But it is the difference between having a hobby and having a business. You do need to get customers, all right? So we have to be very specific and drive that point home, okay? So when it comes to selling your products, the most effective way is through a stockist retailer. So whenever I say stockist, I mean a shop or a retailer. And it's a business that stocks and sells your products. So what will happen is they'll put an order in usually every week. You bake, drop it off, and they sell it for you. So you sell into them at a wholesale price, they put a markup on, and then they make a profit on that markup. Okay? Now you might think, oh, I'm not earning as much selling to stockists, and that's true. But the beauty of selling through stockists is they literally put an order in every week, you drop it off, your job's done. Whereas when you're selling direct to the consumer and you're selling at the full retail price, there's a little bit more toing and froing. I'll pick it up here. Like when you sell things on Marketplace, there's a bit of buying, back and forth, or you've got to be at a market stall. So it's good to have a mixture of the two, right? And the right stockists will depend on what you bake and who your target market is. So if your focus is, remember, I'm talking about if you do Primal Alternative or if you decide to have your own food business and develop your own personal brand. But if if your focus is healthy food, great options include health food stores, independent grocers, organic or whole food cafes, farmers markets, gourmet pizza shops, wineries, even co-ops, local fresh food or meal delivery services. Some primalistas also sell directly through Facebook, Instagram, or their own websites. And if you want to get noticed, you might want to build a simple marketing strategy. Nothing too fancy, a social media channel, a basic website, some branded signage if you're doing a market stall. We've got all of the all the templates ready to go. So you just choose one, enter your details, get it printed. You're not spending ages trying to create anything. And another strategy that works really well is influencer marketing, which is really just modern day word of mouth. All right. So you can give an influencer some products to try. So that might be your local chiropractor, naturopath, anyone. I'm sure you can think of people. It's popping into your head now. And you can give them some products to try. And if they love them, they'll often share them with their community, right? Oh, thank you so much to Vicky for these amazing breads. And people are like, what is this? And then they want some. And if that person who's your influencer, if they've built trust with their followers, that endorsement carries a lot of weight. Now, the Primal Alternative brand has become well known and trusted thanks to the collaborations with Quirky Cooking since 2017, Chef Pete Evans, love you Pete, Low Tox Life, Well Belly Health, and we've also got a number of endorsements from naturopaths, nutritionists, and doctors. Now, that credibility trickles down to you as a primalista. You can use these testimonials on your social media as well. So you essentially get to stand on the shoulders of an established brand while building your own business locally, which is really cool. It's basically the difference between coming out with as somebody who's already got a proven track record or just coming straight out of the starting blocks and trying to get a bit of a name for yourself. So that is a huge benefit to jumping on board with Primal Alternative. Something I'm very proud of, those amazing relationships, and still going, which is great. All right, step 5. We're rattling through it. Look at us go. So you're ready to start baking, you're getting your customers, but have you got everything you need in your kitchen? What do you need? So here's a quick outline of the sort of equipment you're going to need to get started. Because it really can be like so tempting to go, oh, what I've got is not adequate. and I need to smash my house down, build a new house, lose 10 kilos, renovate my kitchen, get a new oven, a bigger oven, a huge oven. You know, we put all of these. It's funny, but you're laughing, right? Because you think it too. I know years ago, me and Mike, this is pre-kids, and we've got an adult now. We wanted to go camping, and so we wrote a list of all the things we'd need to go camping. Basic things like sleeping bags and food. And then we realized, oh, we need a four-wheel drive. So a four-wheel drive, oh, we can't go camping. It's out of our reach. And it's so ridiculous. We could have just, got a swag and gone. But anyway, you get the point, right, with my silly story. So one, don't sabotage yourself with thinking that what you have now is not enough because the home kitchen you've got will probably be cleaner than quite a lot of commercial kitchens, dare I say it. So that's one thing. And the second thing is it can be really tempting to splash out on a whole kitchen's worth of new shiny gear, right? But honestly, you don't need to. Keep it really, really simple. Follow the idea of having a lean startup. You'll hear me bang on about that a lot. And that's because you can trial things, start up slowly, and the less money you're spending on stuff means the more profit you're going to be making in your business, right? Can always add more equipment later once the money starts coming in. So start by making a list of the essentials and checking what you already have. Then pick up whatever's missing from homeware stores or big chains in Australia. Places like Kmart and Spotlight are really awesome. In US, stores like Target or Walmart work just as well. And when it comes to ingredients, having reliable suppliers is key, right? So buying your dry goods like your almond meal, tapioca flour in bulk is going to save you money and keep your baking consistent. And as I mentioned before, when you join as a Primalista, we give you a list of suppliers that's in the US and Australia. And for things, the fresh ingredients like organic butter, free range eggs, raw honey, veggies, you can look to local farmers, health food shops, or supermarkets. It can be really cool to collaborate with another farmer, say to get your eggs wholesale in bulk, because then they can promote you and you can promote them, and then you become part of the local foodie scene, which it's such a buzz. Like I've got to say, and I'm not just saying, oh, I loved it, it's a buzz, but from what Primalistas tell me, they really enjoy those connections and collaborations. So getting your equipment and ingredients organized is basically the final piece of the puzzle, right? And once that's sorted, you got your business registered, your supply chain lined up, your stores ready to sell into, and your marketing, bringing in the customers, you're all set to bake, sell, and make your first sale, which is so exciting. I even had one Primalista who actually framed the first money she got paid for baking. I love that. That was so cool to Neil. I wonder if she's still got it framed. All right. Does it all sound a bit overwhelming? Right. Like, you might be thinking, look, H, this sounds amazing, but it might be a bit too much to pull off on my own. And don't worry, you don't have to. That's exactly why the Primalista license exists. It's packed with resources, training, and support to make the process easier, faster, and way less stressful. And this isn't something that we've just been doing for the last 18 months. Like, I've been running Primal Alternative for over 10 years. I've been helping people. I started licensing the business in 2016. So we've got a history of ironing out all of those annoying kinks. If you get a question from your counselor, like, I don't know what box to tick, you can just message me and I'll help you. I'm like so hands-on, and our community is so helpful. If you bake something and you're like, I don't know, is it meant to look like this? You can just put a post in the Facebook group and everyone will say that looks great, or not, but very rarely. And you'll have guidance at every step, right? And like I mentioned, the community of home bakers who've been where you are now, and are proof that this model really works, which is so cool. So let's talk about what happens when you become a Primalista. So we make the setup really simple. So you're going to get recipes that are already tried and tested and loved, marketing and sales training plus ready to use templates, supplier and stockist lists so you know exactly where to buy ingredients and where you might want to sell your products, which means you can skip the guesswork, right? And start enjoying a steady, reliable income, one that can make a huge difference to your lifestyle and your confidence and your overall happiness. So, the process we have with the Primalista license training is it's a three-step process. So, the first one is being open for business. So, there's two, hello. Oh, no, don't stand on the, oh man. My cat literally came in and did a mic drop. How funny is that? Is there any cat lovers out here today? How do I get rid of that? Huh. How do you do mic drops? Check it out. There's so many cool things you can do. I can't believe she did a mic drop. How funny is that? Oh, oh, sorry. Sorry, got distracted. All right. So there's the 2 weeks of getting open for business where you're basically doing the boring stuff, right? Registering your business, setting up your food business, getting your insurance. And with the Primalista license, we give you an at primalalternative.com website, email rather, not a web, we don't give you a website. We give you an email, so you'll be getting that set up, and we'll give you web access to the Primalista license training and our amazing Facebook group. We celebrate with a new Primalista post when you first join. So we launch you twice, which is so good because quite often primalistas tell me that by the time they've opened up their email, they've got orders in there because you're on our website and people will find you and start placing orders. Then, when you are open for business, we celebrate with another launch with you in your apron. You've probably seen these pictures on my social media, and we list you on our website. The next step is getting equipped. So we connect you with our suppliers so you can get your ingredients, packaging, labels, and equipment. And that's the time, where you start in practicing the recipes. You don't need to, I would say try a few recipes, get confident with it, but the recipes are that simple that you don't need to bake everything in the range before you start selling. Making sales is the next step, which we give you our complete plug and play marketing strategy, branded social media tiles, professional product photos. There's over 500 of those. So you can literally just download stuff to your phone and post on social media. You don't have to spend hours messing around in Canva or trying to get a good picture of food because that always ends up looking like a piece of poo on a plate, doesn't it? Does when I try and do it anyway. I'm no Joe Witten. We'll also give you our customer, people are still arriving, customer and stockist brochures and comprehensive sales training and scripts. So that's basically when you're like shaking and getting sweaty under your armpits and sweaty palms, and you go, "Hello, it's Sarah from Primal Alternative. Can I speak to whoever is in charge of purchasing for the health food store?" And then they come on the phone and then you go, "Oh no, what am I going to say?" We have a blurb to say. How cool's that? And then that's it. You're up and running. You've got your customers. You're baking from home, and you've got Primalista Life. So you're doing what you love from home, helping others, earning some money, being part of the awesome Primalista sisterhood, becoming an integral part of your local foodie community, growing, contributing, and having new experiences because, owning your own business is huge personal growth. It's a buzz, it really is. It'll push you to your edges, which is thrilling. And you can create a freedom lifestyle doing something that you love. I mean, how groovy is that? And you know what? Here's something I'm really proud of. I've never had a Primalista fail to make a sale. Never had a Primalista fail to make a sale. In fact, 75% of them make their first sale in the very first month. And the other ones that don't, it's just because they're taking a slower startup, right? So, how good's that? If you're feeling like, what if it doesn't work for me? And rather than just hearing it from me, I thought you'd like to hear from a couple of our Primalistas yourself. Let me know if you can hear this all right.
I've met Primal Alternative in probably different ways. I've worked on Primal Alternative several days per week and made up to $5,000 profit per month. I've more recently made Primal Alternative my secondary stream of income alongside another part-time job. I've really loved that Primal Alternative has allowed me to stay home doing something I love while allowing me to grow some skills in business and connecting me with a group of like-minded women, the rest of the Primal Alternative community, who are a majorly understated bonus of the Primal Alternative business model. Primal Alternative has provided me with a reliable and steady and flexible form of income, which has been incredible for my lifestyle and my happiness overall.
How's the audio on that? I don't know if I set up the audio settings right, but nobody said they couldn't hear it, so that's good. Susanna, going back a step. Okay, so the Primalistas use the Primal Alternative brand and logo name. And so they would set up their business as probably something like, well, if it was you, Primal Alternative by Susanna. So that would be your business name, and you'd use the Primal Alternative logo. In this session, I'm trying to offer two ways. So one is like if you wanted to do your own personal brand, this is what you have to do. But if you wanted a bit of a hand to do it, then this is what the Primalista license covers for you. So hopefully that, because yeah, selling under a different name would be, whew, that would be a lot of work. Shelley, what's included in the Prime Minister license? Hopefully covered that one, but I will give you a little bit more, I believe, in an upcoming slide.
We're at St Community Markets today. I get to come here every fortnight because this is my side gig that I do. I'm also a teacher. This is my other great love. I love meeting new people. I love seeing people that I already know. It's just fantastic meeting people who can't eat certain foods and their face lights up saying, oh my goodness, I can eat everything here. I love it. It's a real buzz.
I purchased some of the Primal Alternative products. My favourite one is the low carb granola. I call it my happy food. It's the low carb granola. It's peanut butter, lots of nuts, lots of seeds. The low carb bit is really attractive, but the flavour's just awesome.
The day before my markets, I do all my baking and it works beautifully. My kids are able to be picked up still. I'm able to spend time with them and yeah, it just works really well.
I like it because it's all gluten-free and I've been gluten-free for a long time, looking for an alternative that has other health benefits as well. And I know what I'm putting into my body doesn't contain refined sugars and those sorts of things as well. So it tastes amazing. People who eat gluten don't know or don't complain, let's say, because I always make sure that they know.
We have some allergies to almonds in my family, and if you actually go to most of the supermarkets and you have a look at the granola that's available, it might say berries and cranberries on the front packet, but if you turn it around and have a look, there's usually almonds in it. And unfortunately, that's an allergy in our family. So as soon as I found one that didn't have almonds, I tried it, loved it, and now I won't turn back.
I stumbled upon Primal Alternatives. My way of eating, I've always lived the same way that Primal Alternative promotes. And I stumbled across it. I thought, where have you been? How have I not known about this?
Oh no. How have I not known about this? Come on, Nerily, you can do it. Oh, what happened there?
I'm Rosemary. I
Oh,
joined
we've
Primal
had
Alternative.
Rosemary. Oh, well.
And as soon as I started looking into it, I thought, this is exactly me. And this is something I'm passionate about. I love baking. I love caring for other people and being able to provide for them healthy things. So it was a no-brainer. I just had to do it.
Oh, I love that. Isn't it lovely? I love it. Love that video. All right. So, real women, right? Real results. And I've got dozens of success stories that I could sit here and play for you all day. And on Thursday this week, you'll even get to meet four Primalistas live and hear their journeys firsthand, right? And even get to ask them questions. But here's the point. These women were once exactly where you are now. They had that same spark to start their own business and they just weren't sure where to begin, or they maybe thought about it, but they didn't want to reinvent the whole wheel themselves. And then they found Primal Alternative. They loved the delicious, healthy recipes and the simple, proven model that takes the overwhelm out of starting a food business from home. So fast forward to today, they're earning money from their own kitchens, baking food that people love. And the best bit, they get to do it in a way that fits around their lives and what matters to them the most, which is very important. I can tell you so much more of my story about why these things are so important. I will just quickly tell you. When I had Sam, so he's 18, I was in a corporate job in recruitment, actually. So I kind of still do that to this day. And I had maternity leave. Uh-oh, here comes another cat. Hopefully there's no more mic drops. Just sit down there and stop being annoying. Come on. She sits, I don't know if you've seen on my socials, on my stories, but I have a little heater on under my desk and it's freezing. As you can see, I've got like cashmere wool jumper on and layers and layers of boots, radiator on, freezing. And I got a little heater under my desk and she comes and sits on top of the desk where the heater is. So, and she's my little mascot. Where are you? Oh, moving around. Anyway, right. So, yeah, so I was working in recruitment and then I went on maternity leave and I had to go back to work and I didn't want to go back to work. And I basically counted down the whole of maternity leave, dreading going back. I just couldn't do it. Just sitting in a stuffy corporate office when there was a whole world out there. And I just wanted to be with my little boy and walk him around the park and have a nap with him in the afternoon, you know? Oh, anyway, so there's lots of reasons, lots of reasons. And, you know, I speak to people on the phone all the time who are in the same sort of circumstances and they don't want to just be stuck in, you know, in a job that you understand, right? Okay, right. Moving on, H, what you must do if you want to grow your side hustle into a full-time business. Sorry if you don't like the word side hustle. So many people pull me up on that, you know, on social media. Yeah, I don't know. Does it sound bad to you? I don't know. It just means a little side hustle, like a little side gig, right? So I love this line from Forbes, and I said it before as well, earlier on in the info session, but a side hustle is more than just another stream of income. It's also the new job security. You remember COVID? Yeah. And it's true, right? Whether you're a mum who's wanting to bring in some extra income around family life or someone who's in a full-time job who's ready for a change, the side hustle can be that bridge between where you are now and the life you really want. So with the right model and a bit of hard work, and when I say hard work, I mean, you know, you're in the kitchen, you're baking, you're on your feet. You need to go and knock on doors and get out there and speak to people about the products you've got available. What starts as just a side hustle can quickly grow into a full-time business and one that gives you freedom, flexibility, and a better lifestyle for your family. So imagine this, getting paid to do something you love every single day, being your own boss, choosing your own hours, taking breaks when you need to without asking for permission. I was speaking to someone last week who was saying, I am sick of asking when I can go for a pee. Never missing a school assembly, never missing a family event or social catch up because of bloody work. And that one's for you, Roxanne. That's the power of a business that fits around your life. Now, let's be real. Growing a side hustle into a thriving business, it does take effort, right? It's not just going to magically happen, but it's absolutely possible. And here are the two things, the two non-negotiables that you have to do if you want to get it right and if you want to get it to work. So, first up, an in-demand product. So your products need to be both high quality and in demand. It's not enough to bake something you like, and you want to be sure people will want it and want it regularly. And that's why a bit of market research is so important if you do go out on your own. And once you know there is a market, the next step is perfecting your product so it stands out from the competition, which we've covered. Of course, the simplest way is to skip the guesswork and start with products that are already proven, like the Primal Alternative range. They're healthy, delicious, loved in 4 different countries. I got in 4 different countries. And in fact, 100% of primalistas say there's definitely a market for these products. The second one is loyal customers. So you really need just a good product and some customers, right? regular, loyal customers. And it's better to focus on steady, repeat buyers than trying to sell to everyone at once or selling to everyone once, right? The more customers who make your products part of their weekly shop, the stronger and more resilient your business will be, even if the economy gets rocky. I've just been speaking to Primalista Cat this morning because the oven broke. So I said, would you like to use my kitchen? Because we can't, that's kind of the community that we are. But she actually took it as a good reason to have a rest. So good on her. But her oven's broken, and we were just having a bit of a chat. And she said that the IGA that we've been stocking for over 6 years has increased its orders. It just increased its orders. So how good's that? That's good, good, good. And yeah, when you become a primalista, you're tapping into that existing market of people that are already looking for healthier options. And the recipes suit vegan, paleo, low carb, low FODMAP, grain-free, wheat-free diets. There's a high demand for these foods, even during times of inflation, which just means you can start taking orders as soon as you're ready to go. All right, let's talk about the mistakes. Is this the right one? I'm not sure if the how to choose the right equipment for your business. Let's just go to the next slide. Right. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Right. So to give you an idea, so a bake from home business is awesome because one, you don't have any staff. Do you know how hard it is to get staff these days? It's really hard. Two, you don't have any overheads like rent. It's you, and you can always rely on you. And you'll just need a few bits to have a bake from home business. And most of them you might already have. So I just wanted to run through what you'll need because sometimes we can sort of think, well, what do I need, right? So you're going to need an apron and a hairnet or a cap, something that's just going to get your hair out the way because nobody wants to get hair in their food, right? An oven. So whether you've got a 600 oven or a 900 oven, that's big enough. And you'll be able to fit 12 Primal Alternative loaves in the oven at once. 12, because loaves are narrower than a normal loaf. And that's how it works. So it's so streamlined. Oops, sorry, that's a little bit loud. It's so streamlined like that. You'll need a mixer. So you might see in some of the videos me cooking with a Thermomix. You don't need a Thermomix. Just use whatever you bake cakes with now. Primalist Amanda, who's going to be doing the bake along for us on Friday, can't wait. She uses a bowl and a spoon. Like, talk about rustic, right? So you don't need anything too fancy. You need a spatula for scraping out your mixer, tins, trays, baking paper, cooling racks, fly nets. Obviously, so no flies land on your products while they're cooling. Packaging, which Primal Alternative does for you. Food standard Australia, New Zealand, or FDA compliant labels. That's a huge, huge thing. And if you want to do retail, you want your labels to be to have a barcode on them. So barcodes will cost you about $800 a year Aussie, or that's around $500 US. And that's something primalistas never have to worry about paying for because they get barcodes as part of the license. And they're essential if you want to be retail ready. And also, it's really good for customers if they want to scan the barcode to get their macros and nutrients for apps like MyFitnessPal. Okay, here we go. The most common mistakes of new business owners and how to avoid them. So, starting a business is exciting, but let's be real, it can be challenging. And the sad truth is, too many new business owners skip the important prep work and quickly hit roadblocks. According to the Bureau of Statistics, more than 60% of small businesses close within the first 3 years. But here's the good news, you don't have to be one of them. By learning from the common mistakes others make, you can save yourself a lot of money, time, and stress and keep your business moving in the right direction. So let's look at what those pitfalls are and, more importantly, how you can avoid them so your bake from home business actually works for you. All right, common mistake number one, going it alone. A lot of new business owners try to do everything themselves. They wear every hat: baker, marketer, accountant, sales rep, and it usually leads to expensive mistakes and unnecessary stress. The truth is, you don't have to go it alone. That's why the Primalista license comes in with so much built-in support, delicious recipes, baking demo videos, supplier and stockist info, marketing templates, sales training, even one-on-one coaching with me. You're never left figuring it out in the dark. You can skip the mistakes and follow proven strategies that work. Common mistake number 2, failing to plan. This is a big one. Too many people jump in without a clear plan. I've seen it so many times at our local markets, only to discover 6 months later that something isn't working. And by then it's costly to fix. So it's usually things around buying packaging that's too fancy, like pretty glass jars or something. And the other one I see is that they don't cost their products properly. So they're selling something, and then 6 months later they're like, well, why have I got no money? And then they realize they've been underpricing, and it's so hard to go up when you've started at a certain price. A solid plan should cover what you'll bake, who you'll sell to, how many hours you want to work, and what your budget looks like. Before you even join on the Primalista Discovery call, we'll help you look at your time, earning goals, and stockist opportunities in the area to make sure the business is set up for success. And common mistake number 3, pricing products incorrectly. Just said it. This one trips up so many businesses. Price too high and customers walk away. Price too low and you're basically paying people to eat your food, right? And let's be honest, as health conscious bakers, many of us struggle with the idea of charging properly for something we love doing. I've seen so many passionate foodies at these markets burn out and close their businesses simply because they didn't get their pricing right. And that's why I've spent the last 9 years consulting with costing specialists, testing the market, keeping an eye on supplier prices. I just did a massive overhaul in June, looking at all of our 7 top suppliers, finding out the price of everything, about 20 different ingredients from allspice to, walnuts and everything in between, and comparing the prices and making sure that the Primalista prices are viable so that the Primalistas are earning a profit. I mean, who's got time to do all of that? You don't want to do that, right? I'll do that for you. So every new Primalista gets these guidelines so you can confidently set prices that customers are going to pay, and it's going to keep your business profitable. There's lovely Ash. So thank you so much for joining me for this info session. I hope you found it helpful. I forgot to mention I've got prizes, so I'm nearly finished, and I will reveal some prizes in a little bit. And I hope you found it even maybe a little bit exciting. So if you decide to take the plunge and start your own bake from home business, I really hope that it's such a buzz for you. I've loved every single step of the journey. It's definitely been the most rewarding thing I've ever been involved with. And I reckon that with the right support, it really can be amazing for you as well. So if you want to explore what it could like to become a Primalista and get access to all the recipes, tools and trainings, then we would love to chat to you. So let me tell you a little bit more about what you get. I'll run you through the investment and then I'll tell you what we do on the calls. So just here's a recap what you get. So you get the license to sell a much loved brand and products. So Primal Alternative is already trusted and loved by health leaders and influencers. So you're stepping into a ready-made market, not starting from scratch. You get a supportive community of like-minded home bakers. 97% of Primalistas say the community is non-competitive, super supportive. It's women cheering each other on, swapping tips and celebrating wins together. Step-by-step support to set your business up. So I'll walk you through everything: registering your business, connect you with suppliers, pricing, sales training, the lot. You don't need to figure it out on your own. You get those easy to follow recipes that customers love. You'll be baking delicious loaves, pizza bases, pastry, granolas, cookies, and more. 96% of Primalistas say the video recipes are simple and your customers will love them. And all these pictures on the tiles today, these are Primal Alternative pictures. If you're getting hungry looking at those brownies. You'll also get a complete marketing toolkit from training and templates to strategies that work. You'll have everything you need to start finding loyal customers and growing your business. So, are you ready to see what's possible for you? I'd love you to a book a Primalista discovery call. So let's talk about the investment. So there's two payment options for the license fee. You've got the upfront payment, which is $5,497 upfront. And with that pay upfront option, you save $500. So this option is the cheapest option, the best value. Or you can go with the most flexible, which is this one, where you can choose the payment plan of $497 a month for 12 months. Additionally, there's an ongoing monthly membership fee of $130. So to put that in perspective, it works out to be just over $20 a day during the first year, and then it's just $4 a day after that, once you've paid off your license. You keep everything you earn, there's no royalties. The monthly membership keeps your support going, keeps your access to the license, but it's also instead of a royalty. And this isn't a franchise, of course, it's a license. So these prices here are all in Australian dollars. And with this model, you could earn between $1,000 and $5,000 a month, working anywhere from 5 hours to 25 hours a week, baking healthy food from home. Now, we also offer a 7-day cooling off guarantee, right? So you can dive straight in, get instant access to everything, check it all out, get a vibe for the community, try the first 3 recipes. So you get to try the low carb seed loaf, the chocolate chip cookies, and the fruit and nut loaf. And it's not just about trying the products, right? It's about trying the recipes. Like you think, well, can I make 20 loaves of this in 1 week? So you get that. And so you'll have a really good idea within that first 7 days if it's for you or not. And if it's not, you just let me know. You get a full refund. All is good. Now, if you're in the US, here are those numbers in your language. So we've got the one-off payment of 3,850 US dollars, or on the payment plan 12. You don't know this one as fluently, do I, as the other one? 12. I don't do any US calls. $350 a month for 12 months on the payment plan, and your ongoing monthly membership is $90 US per month. Now, drum roll, please. Have I got a drum roll? I do. Hey. I'm so grateful my cat showed me these cool. Do it again. I'm such a baby. Oh. All right, so here, there's even a curtain call. What's that? Oh. Oh, the fun you'll have with a Canva presentation. Oh, sorry. I'm having fun. I hope you're laughing. Either that or you've all left. All right, so I've got a banger offer, right? And before we wrap up today and before I share those prizes, I want to share something really epic. I've never offered it before. I'm doing it because we're launching in the US and I wanted to create a banging offer. So we launch with a bang in the US. And then I thought, it's so unfair not to offer it to my darling Aussie potential primalistas as well, right? Because let's face it, Aussie is the backbone of Primal Alternative. And I've never offered this before. I don't have any plans to offer it again, right? So listen up. Normally, when you join as a Primalista, there's a $130 monthly membership that kicks in straight away. But right now, for anyone who joins this month, that monthly membership won't start until January 2026. So what that means is that you can save up to 520, sorry, that's Aussie dollars, slight glitch there. Too many tiles to do, right? That's US, Aussie dollars. You can save up to 520 Aussie dollars. Okay. And the offer ends October the 15th. So if you join this month, you'll save more than if you join next month. All right. So here's how it works. You'll pay for your license either on the upfront, $5,497, and save another $500. So if you pay up front now and you get this special offer, you'll be saving $1,020. Have I done something for that? You'll be, no. Yeah, you'll be saving $1,020. That's appropriate for that one, isn't it? You can also go on the payment plan. So that is if you're more of a weekly numbers person, that works out to be just under $115 a week on the payment plan. And you'll immediately unlock everything you need to get started, right? The recipes, the training, the community, and all of the branded resources. But your monthly membership won't begin until the new year, which gives you the rest of this year to set yourself up at your own pace. You can work through the training, sort out your own kitchen approvals, build your confidence, and even start baking without that extra cost hanging over you. And to make it even more supportive, I'm also including a free 20-minute kickoff call with me. So that's different to a Primalista discovery call. The kickoff call is going to help you troubleshoot any startup questions, because there will be questions. And it'll help you I'll help guide you on how to implement the model in your kitchen. And most importantly than ever, just give you that confidence boost that we all need when we start something new. We're like, oh, is this right? And someone goes, yes, and you go, okay, good. It really is. It's a once-off epic offer. It's only available for new Primalistas only, and it does end on October the 15th. So less than a month to go to grab this if you want it. So if you've been sitting on the fence, now is the very best time to say yes and to get started. Now, if you're in the US, this is what that is in your numbers. As you can see, it's to celebrate our US launch. And then I didn't want to leave out my Aussie sisters. So if you join in September, you can save $360 on your monthly membership. And again, a huge saving if you go for the upfront option and this deal. And again, this ends in the US, it ends on October the 15th as well. All right, so the next step, if you're feeling curious about whether this could be for you, is to book a call. And that's the QR code. You can just scan that and get your call booked. Now, this isn't just a casual chit chat, all right? And it's not a sales call, right? This is the sales bit, right? Where I'm telling you all about it and how good it is, right? The call is about you. It's a space where we create in just a little space just for you to really explore what you want from your own business and why. Now, I know there's a couple of people on the call here. I know I've got Janice. I know I've got Vicky. If you've both had calls with me, if you want to, if you don't mind, could you just drop something in the chat to say like that the calls are nice and what you got out of it? That would be really helpful. Because when was the last time you actually had someone hold space for you to think about what you want and why? And on the call, we'll also get really practical. We'll look at things like how much you'd need to bake to earn the income that you want, and how long would that take each week? Like, how many loaves of bread do I need to make to get X amount? Like, and that is all personal to what you want. And we also need to find out whether this is going to fit with your personal circumstances and your commitments. We'll also look at where you'd sell and whether there's enough customer demand in your area. Or maybe there is customer demand, but you're not sure where to look. We can give you plenty of ideas, and we can go through like the names of places that you want to approach, and we can double check that they aren't already being supplied by another Primalista. And most importantly, we'll give you an honest assessment of whether this is a good fit for you right now or not. Like, I don't want to waste anyone's time. If it's not a match, like, I'm going to tell you. And if it is, we can show you the clearest path forward. So the calls go for around 30 to 45 minutes, and you'll be speaking with either me or one of our experienced Primalistas who've been running a Primalista business for years. They're also Primalista ambassadors in the US. They're like so love this business model that they have bought another license to promote it in the US. I mean, how cool is that? So they'll be speaking to you from their Aussie kitchens, but fully geared for the US. So that way, you're getting answers straight from someone who's walked the path before you. And it's a chance to move from that'd be nice one day to actually exploring with clarity whether this could be something real for you. And if so, how we can help you get there faster. And here's what you'll also discover on the call, how you can save that $520 on the monthly membership. So if there's anything you're not sure about, we can clarify all of that for you and give you the details of how to get your 20-minute kickoff call with me for that added layer of accountability and support, because Lord knows we all need that. And I just want to let you know how the calls work. So here in Australia, yeah, I'm personally taking the calls. I think I've said that bit, haven't I? And we've got Emily, Rose, Ali, and Gail taking calls in the US. So between us, we only open set times in our diaries each week. So the Primalista ambassadors, you know, some of them work full time. They've got their baking to do. They've got their workouts. I'm just thinking of their grandchildren, all the other things that are in their lives. So we only have set number of times in our diary. So if you're thinking about joining, just know that the call times are very limited. And this is a banging offer. And we've got, I think, about 1,000 new US potential primalistas that have joined to find out more in the last month or so. So if you're thinking about joining and you want to get that big saving, you'll need to book your call within the next few days. It's already the 16th of September. The offer ends on the 15th of November. So October. So don't leave it. Sometimes my brain just switches over to the next thing. Does yours? I'm always just, my mouth's just still going blah, 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 and my brain's doing the next thing. Right. It's already the 16th of September. The offer does end on the 15th of October. Don't listen to what H's mouth said before. So don't leave it to the last minute. Scan the QR code on the screen now. Grab a time that works for you. All right. All right. I think I've already told you that. Oh, look, I did 2 tiles. Yeah. But I just made you look at that 1 tile all that time. Sorry about that. All right. Book a call. Did I mention book a call? Book a call. Okay, good. All right. What's up next? Okay. On Thursday, we've got the Primalista panel. Like this today is like the most essential, like you need to know this information about the Primalista license. Right? It's quite a lot of information. Okay. So tomorrow you have a day off just to kind of integrate. I will be sending out an email tomorrow as part of the virtual open week where I'm going to give you my 7 top tips for a successful bake from home business. So that's really, really cool just to get a bit of an overview. And then the next day is my favorite day of the virtual open week. It's the panel. So we've got Tash, who's been a Primalista for 3 years, coming up 3 years. She's in Queensland. We've got Manda, who is going to be on the panel and also a bake along. We're also doing a Q&A on Friday. So for any of your last minute questions, we can answer those then. And Amanda's been a Primalista for about 4 years. She's on the Gold Coast. Emily is in South Australia. She's having her Primiversary this month of 6 years. 6 years, almost to the day that she signed up. So happy Primiversary, Emily. She is a Primalista ambassador. So she looks after potential Primalistas around the Texas states, the sort of central region there. And we're also going to be joined by Gail. Now, I only found out that Gail's in Victoria. Gail's a retiree. She's moved into a little retirement village. She bakes from home there, has a little, it sounds great. It sounds like such a great community. And she's also an ambassador and she does more sort of New York way in America. So there's going to be 4 Primalistas, which is going to be super, super cool. Okay, so I'm going to leave you with a final video to watch, which is shot in the beautiful town of Denmark, which I was telling you about before, with Primalista Cat, who I happen to mention as well. And if you have got any questions that I haven't answered, take the time during this video to pop them in the chat and I will answer them all. Then I will reveal the door prize. And the special exciting thing is that I have got a door prize for all of you for being here today. I like that one, don't I? I like that one. I like that one. All right, so everyone now be quiet. We're going to watch a video.
In my search to support my family's health holistically, Primal Alternative just popped up. It was pretty magic. There it is. I've been looking for that. It just fits into our life perfectly, supports our family's health. My bake day consists of dropping the kids off at school, coming home and having a break, because you need a break after school drop off, and just jumping straight into it. And I'll be just going all day until pick up time, then finish up after that. It just suits me perfectly.
It's challenging, working away, eating healthy at the best of times. So by taking the Primal Alternative, I can eat healthy food that's really tasty as well.
We've been supplying this IGA for 6 years, and always pleasant to deal with and very consistent with putting in orders.
I run a pre-ordered food box business supplying the community with locally grown produce. I first discovered it in a market in Perth. Just fell in love with the products, really. I thought it was an amazing business. I didn't realize there were different primalistas until I moved down to Denmark. I asked if I could start supplying their products. I love eating healthy. That's definitely a high value for me. I feel really good when I eat them. And then meeting the people that bake them, that's another really nice part about it. You're meeting the baker, and it's like you're really having home cooked food that's really nice for you.
I actually discovered it online through a patient who had recommended that I should find out about the products because she used them herself. I love that it's a chance to have a really beautiful, healthy product available at home. I'm a mum and a busy business owner, and often the types of foods that I do want to feed myself and my family are not always available, and I can't have the time to cook it always myself. So to know that they're being prepared by someone in their kitchen with love and care and made locally means that I get access to those products and can have something on hand that tastes great and serves the purpose of being healthy. So I've recommended them to patients in the past and they've really enjoyed the products. It's great for women who have gut health issues or metabolic concerns, and it's a really great way to have a grain-free, paleo-friendly alternative at home that they can enjoy.
Being a local, you come across best that a town has to offer. There's a big demand, so as a business you have to fulfill it and do what we can to work for that niche. It's a really good product, and it's made locally, which is these days is really hard to come across. When you know the person who makes it, it's a different relationship you have with the product, and it just feels good and it tastes good. It's awesome. It's really good for you as well. So yeah, it's amazing. It's a good thing for a business to have, because sometimes families don't go out for dinner because of dietary requirements, but here we are able to cater for everyone.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Good old Massimo. All right, so I have got a few questions here. A great question. Oh, hang on, microphone over here now. From Nicole. Thanks for the info. You're welcome. Can you bake your own recipes, or do you need to follow all the Primal recipes? That is a really good question, Nicole. You can bake your own products alongside the Primal Alternative products. The only thing you can't do is put Primal Alternative on your products, but you wouldn't want to anyway, right? I do have, without getting too confusing, another course called Fast Track to Food Business, which is basically the Primalista license without the Primalista brand or the Primal Alternative brand. So if you want to be walked through all the things you need to do to start your own food business, then that is a course for you. That's currently at a special price at the moment. So if you want to check that out, it's primalalternative.com/fast. And as a Primalista, you get access to Fast Track to Food Business as a bonus, which is really cool. There's a few other bonuses when you get inside as well, but it's too much to mention. It's too overwhelming. And also, if you decide, okay, well, I think I want to try my own personal brand first, you can do Fast Track to Food Business. And then if in a few months' time you think, oh, haven't really got that off the ground, I think I want to do Primalista, then you can just upgrade and pay the difference in price. Now, I must note that Fast Track to Food Business is only set up for businesses in Australia. It isn't US specific, whereas the Primalista license is all geared up for the US. All right. Now, the next step is to book a call. Cherry Chan, I've had a call with you too. And Janice says, I enjoyed speaking with Helen. Well worthwhile. Helen worked with my personal situation and showed me how the business model can work with my food business. Perfect. Thank you. And Vicky said, the call was insightful and tailored to my situation and location. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Good. All right. Woohoo. It's giveaway time. Oh, yes. That's great, Shelley. Pleased to hear. That's so good. So cool. Look forward to talking to you then. All right. So, giveaway, here we are. Right. Before we wrap up, and we are honestly going to finish. Ooh, look at the time. I want to give you a couple of gifts. First up, everyone that's here live today is going to get my Ikigai reflection worksheet. Now, it's a simple but really powerful tool that is going to help you figure out what lights you up, what your skills are, and how it could all fit into your life. So I don't know if you've heard of Ikigai or reason for being, but it's basically the skills that you have, the things you love to do, and basically what the world needs. And where that all kind of meets in the middle is your Ikigai. And it basically shows you how to create a business doing something with the skills that you have and the things that you love. So how cool is that? So I'm going to grab that from here if it's going to let me. It's not going to let me grab it. Right, I need to figure out a way to give you that link. Because it's here in my notes, but I can't copy it. That's annoying. All right, I'll come back to that. And I've also got a special prize. So I'm going to choose one person who's going to get the special prize of a really cool workshop. It's called Take Your First Steps Bake from Home Business Workshop. And it's a short 13-minute hands-on workshop where I personally walk you through how to map out your business idea, how to pick your first products, how to work out how to get started simply and profitably. And you'll finish with clarity, confidence, and a plan that you can act on in 13 minutes. So there's no fluff, it's just practical steps. And the winner is, oh, hang on a minute. The winner is, the winner is Nicole. Nicole is the winner of the workshop. Okay, now, I just need to find out how to get that link to you. So I'm going to do that. But I know some of you will need to go, and I have rabbited on. As you can tell, I'm very passionate about this business. Very, very committed to helping people with real food. And before we finish up today, let's quickly recap what we've covered. So we've talked about the growing demand for real healthy food and why now is such a powerful time to start a bake from home business. We've looked at the 5 steps to set yourself up, from choosing your products, getting your kitchen approved, and organizing suppliers, to finding customers and building a steady income stream. We've talked through some of the common mistakes business owners make and how you can avoid them. And I've showed you how the Primalista license gives you recipes, training, marketing, and support, so you don't have to figure it all out on your own. Now, if there's just one thing I'd love you to take away from today, it's this. There's no such thing as ready, there's only now. Confidence doesn't come before you start. It comes along the way as you take those small practical steps and see what you're capable of. And the beautiful thing is, you don't have to do it alone. There's a proven path, a supportive community cheering you on, and recipes that customers already love. All that's missing is you and the decision to say yes. So if you're feeling that little spark inside, don't ignore it. Book your call, take the first steps, and see what's possible for you. All right. Thank you, everybody. I just have to do this. That was such a baby. All right. All right. I am going to end the session now. I'm going to stop recording, but please stay on the call, live attendees, and I'll figure out that link for you. All right. Thanks everyone for watching.